We walk upon a world teeming with life, much of which goes completely unnoticed. Beneath our very feet, vast and complex societies thrive, engage in epic battles, and enact dramas of life and death on a scale that almost defies imagination. These are the empires of the ants. They are not simply tiny, scurrying insects. Architects, soldiers, farmers. Queens, all bound by an unwavering loyalty to their colony. Their world is one of relentless activity, a world of incredible cooperation. But it is also a world of astonishing brutality, a place where survival demands tactics so ruthless, they might well make us shudder. We often dismiss them, but we do so at our own peril of understanding. They have conquered nearly every landmass on Earth. Their sheer numbers are a testament to their success, a success built upon extraordinary organization, and in some cases, sheer, unadulterated savagery. We think of ourselves as the dominant species, the masters of strategy and warfare, yet the ants have been practicing these arts for over 100 million years. They have perfected strategies that are both ingenious and terrifying. They are the silent, six-legged conquerors of the undergrowth, and their stories are written not in ink, but in the very soil and leaf litter of our world. In this hidden kingdom, power is everything. The struggle for resources is constant and unforgiving. To survive, some species have evolved behaviors that are truly shocking. They have become living weapons, masters of ambush, and cunning manipulators of their own kind. They are not evil, for nature knows no such concept. They are simply creatures honed to a razor's edge by the unforgiving pressures of evolution. Their ruthlessness is not a choice. It is a necessity, a tool for ensuring the continuation of their genetic legacy. Prepare to look closer than you ever have before. We will uncover the stories of 4 particular species, 4 masters of their savage craft. Each one has developed a unique and brutal method for thriving in a competitive world. From unstoppable armies that consume everything in their path to tiny assassins with jaws like bear traps, their lives are a continuous spectacle of power and precision. These are not the familiar ants of a picnic blanket. These are the titans of the insect world, and their savagery reveals a profound truth about the raw, untamed power of nature itself. They are small, yes, but their impact is anything but. The 4 most ruthless ants we've ever filmed. Deep in the rainforests of Africa and South America, the ground itself begins to move. It is not an earthquake. It is something far more organized, far more terrifying for the small creatures of the forest floor. It is the march of the army ants, the Eciton burchelli. These ants have no permanent nest. Their colony is the army itself, a living, breathing, perpetually moving entity. They are a river of death, a flowing tide of hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions, of individuals. An army ant colony is a society built for war. It is a superorganism in its purest form. The queen is an egg-laying machine, producing thousands of future soldiers each day. The workers are her devoted legion, among them the soldiers. These individuals are truly formidable. They are larger, with enormous sickle-shaped mandibles curving like a pirate's cutlass. These jaws are not for chewing. They are for piercing, for holding, for tearing their prey apart. When the army moves, soldiers form a protective perimeter, jaws agape, ready to defend the column against any threat. They are the vanguard, the honor guard of this relentless force. At the end of each day's march, they form a bivouac, a temporary city built from its citizens. The hunt is a spectacle of organized chaos. The colony advances in a broad front, a swarming mass over 15 meters wide. Anything too slow is overwhelmed. Insects, spiders, scorpions, lizards, small birds, snakes. The ants swarm over their victim, a writhing blanket of biting jaws. They inject formic acid to subdue their prey. The attack is swift, merciless, brutally efficient. The victim is killed, disassembled piece by piece, and carried back into the heart of the column to feed the hungry larvae. Unlike other ants that build static fortresses of soil or wood, army ants create a living home. At the end of each day's march, they form a bivouac. They link their bodies together, using legs and jaws, forming a massive pulsating ball. At the center of this fortress, protected by a thick wall of workers, is the queen and her precious brood. This structure is alive. It breathes. It regulates its temperature. A chilling symbol of their nomadic, predatory existence. Now, let us turn our attention to a hunter of a very different kind. This one does not rely on overwhelming numbers. It relies on speed. A speed so explosive it borders on the unbelievable. Meet the trapjaw ant, genus Odontomachus. At first glance, it appears unassuming. A slender, elegant ant with unusually long, straight mandibles that extend directly in front of its head. These are not merely jaws. They are a biological catapult, one of the fastest-moving predatory appendages in the entire animal kingdom. They are held open at a full 180 degrees, locked in place by a sophisticated latch mechanism in the ant's head. They are a weapon, primed and waiting. The jaws snap shut with blinding velocity. They can accelerate from 0 to over 230 kilometers per hour in a fraction of a second. The force generated is immense, over 300 times the ant's own body weight. For its prey, there is no escape. The strike is instant and fatal, a miniature execution carried out with unparalleled mechanical precision. But this incredible mechanism is not just for hunting. If a trapjaw ant finds itself in danger, perhaps in the grasp of a larger predator, a spider, another ant, it can use its jaws for a desperate escape. By striking them against the ground or the body of its attacker, the ant can launch itself through the air. This jaw jump can propel it several inches away, a ballistic last-ditch maneuver to flee from certain death. It is an explosive retreat, turning a weapon of offense into a tool of miraculous escape. This ant's strategy is the polar opposite of the army ants. Where the army ant is a blunt instrument of collective force, the trapjaw ant is a precision tool, a solitary assassin. It is also about innovation and biomechanical supremacy. The trapjaw ant has harnessed the laws of physics, evolving a system of stored energy that gives it a decisive, instantaneous advantage over its prey and its enemies. It is a marvel of natural engineering, a tiny creature that has weaponized pure speed, a living testament to the power of a single perfectly executed strike. In the arid landscapes of Australia, there lives an ant that seems to have broken many of the conventional ant rules. This is the bulldog ant, Myrmecia. It is a giant among ants, some species reaching up to 4 centimeters in length. They are primitive in their evolutionary lineage, and their behavior reflects this. They are less reliant on chemical trails than other ants, possessing extraordinarily keen eyesight. They can spot movement from a meter away. They do not scurry. They march with a purpose. Their large bodies held high off the ground, their heads swiveling to track any potential threat or meal. But the real danger lies at its rear. It possesses a powerful venomous sting, much like that of a wasp or bee. And unlike a honeybee, a single bulldog ant can sting its victim repeatedly, injecting a potent cocktail of toxins. The bulldog ant is primarily a solitary hunter. While it lives in a colony, individuals often forage alone, relying on their excellent vision to stalk their prey. They hunt other insects, they hunt spiders, they hunt even small lizards. When a target is spotted, the ant will charge, grabbing the victim with its mandibles and then curling its abdomen forward to deliver the fatal sting. The venom is powerful enough to paralyze and kill its prey quickly. It can also be incredibly painful to humans, causing severe allergic reactions in some individuals. Its sting is ranked among the most painful of all insect stings, a fiery warning to all who disturb it. Our final species demonstrates a form of ruthlessness that is perhaps the most unsettling of all. It is a psychological and social savagery. Meet the slave-maker ant, genus Polyergus. These ants are known as social parasites. They have lost the ability to perform the most basic tasks of colony life. They cannot feed themselves. They cannot care for their own young. They cannot even build or maintain their own nest. They are utterly dependent on the labor of others. To survive, they raid the nests of other ant species and steal their young. The raid is a swift and brutal affair. Sharp, sickle-shaped mandibles designed not for work, but for piercing the armor of defending ants. They storm the target nest with incredible speed and aggression. The defending Formica workers fight bravely to protect their home, but they are often no match for the specialized warriors of the Polyergus clan. The slave makers are single-minded. Their only goal is to reach the heart of the nest. Once inside, the slave makers ignore the adult ants. They are not interested in killing them. Their prize is the brood: eggs, larvae, pupae. They seize the helpless young in their jaws and begin a rapid retreat back to their own nest. The defenders are left in a state of disarray, their colony's future stolen from them in a matter of minutes. The kidnapped pupae are taken back to the slave maker's nest and placed among their own brood. When these stolen ants emerge as adults, they do not know they have been kidnapped. They are surrounded by the scent of the slave maker colony. Through this chemical deception, the stolen ants become imprinted on their captors. They accept the slave maker queen and her brood as their own. They do all the work, effectively running the colony, while the Polyergus ants do nothing but lounge, eat, and prepare for the next raid. Each of these 4 species embodies a unique philosophy of ruthlessness, a different path to dominance in the miniature world. The army ant represents the power of the collective, a shock and awe tactic where overwhelming numbers render any individual defense pretty much futile. Their strategy is one of brute force consumption, a moving tide that just erases life from its path, like a wildfire or a flood. Their success is rooted in their absolute unity and their nomadic lifestyle. The trapjaw ant stands in stark contrast. It's the specialist, the master of a single, perfect moment. Its ruthlessness isn't found in numbers, but in physics and in speed. Then we have the bulldog ant, the primal warrior. It represents individual might and raw aggression. Finally, the slave maker ant reveals a more insidious form of savagery, psychological and social. While the other 3 are predators or warriors, the slave maker is a tyrant and parasite that bends social biology to its will. It's a chilling reminder that the cruelest battles in nature aren't always the most violent. When these different forms of savagery collide, the results are, well, spectacular and brutal. Imagine a foraging party of bulldog ants with their keen eyesight and potent stings, encountering the leading edge of an army ant swarm. The bulldog ants, with their inherent aggression, would not immediately flee. They'd probably stand and fight. An individual bulldog ant could easily kill several army ant workers. But the army ant's strategy is built to absorb such losses. For every soldier the bulldog ant fells, 10 more will swarm over it, their combined weight and countless bites overwhelming the larger insect. A trapjaw ant, on the other hand, might fare differently against a lone bulldog ant. If the bulldog ant were to get too close, the trapjaw could unleash its mandibles in a defensive strike, perhaps to stun, more likely to catapult itself to safety. The interaction between slave maker ants and their targets is a clear example of specialized warfare overcoming a generalist defense. The Formica ants that they raid are successful, well-rounded ants. They can forage, build, and defend their nest effectively against most threats. But they are not prepared for the singular purpose of a Polyergus raid. The slave makers are specialists in this one, violent act. They are like a special forces unit storming a civilian town. These clashes highlight the concept of the evolutionary arms race. The army ant's swarm is countered by animals that can climb quickly or fly quickly. The trapjaw's speed is countered by predators with even faster reflexes or armor that can withstand the blow. The bulldog ant's sting is countered by predators with immunity to its venom, and the slave makers are sometimes thwarted by host colonies that have evolved behaviors to detect and kill the raiding scouts before a full-scale invasion can be mounted. The ruthless strategies of these ants aren't unique to their tiny world. They are echoes of universal principles of survival played out across the animal kingdom. The swarming, overwhelming force of the army ant is mirrored in vast hunting packs of wolves that can bring down a bison many times their size. It's seen in shoals of predatory fish, like piranhas, that can strip a carcass to the bone in minutes. Where individual strength is lacking, overwhelming cooperation and sheer numbers become unstoppable. Trapjaw ants use explosive, specialized hunting. Mantis shrimp do the same, chameleons do the same. The mantis shrimp has a club-like appendage. It accelerates with such force it momentarily boils the water. Cavitation. Bulldog ants combine aggression, size, and venom. Honey badgers and black mambas command respect through raw individual power and reputation. The slave maker ant, a social parasite, has larger counterparts. The cuckoo bird outsources parenthood with brutal effectiveness. So, What are we to make of these savage, six-legged conquerors? It can be tempting to apply human morality to their actions, to label them as cruel or evil. But that would be a profound misunderstanding of the natural world. These ants aren't driven by malice. They're driven by the most powerful force on our planet, the imperative to survive and to ensure the propagation of their genes. Their ruthlessness is a form of creativity, a dark and beautiful testament to the endless inventiveness of evolution. They're masterpieces of survival. They teach us that power comes in many forms: overwhelming unity, army ants, explosive specialization, trap-jaw ants, raw individual might, bulldog ants, and psychological manipulation, slave-maker ants. There is no single correct way to succeed. Nature rewards diversity and strategy, and the most extreme behaviors often arise in the most competitive environments, pushing life to its most creative and sometimes terrifying limits. These tiny creatures offer us a lesson in humility. We build our cities, wage our wars, and believe ourselves the ultimate strategists. Yet for millions of years before our arrival, ants were masters of agriculture, chemical warfare, and complex social engineering. They have created societies more unified and efficient than our own. Their savage world, governed by instinct and chemistry, holds up a mirror to our struggles for resources, power, dominance. They remind us that the fundamental rules of life are ancient and universal. Even the smallest creatures can possess strength and complexity that rival our own. They are a vital part of their ecosystems, agents of change, drivers of evolution. The next time you see an ant, perhaps pause for a moment. You may not be looking at a simple insect. You may be looking at a soldier, an assassin, a slaver, a living catapult. You're looking at a survivor, a tiny tyrant of the undergrowth, and a profound testament to life's relentless and savage beauty.